And welcome back to Friday's Who Would Win in the week of Who Would Wins. And this week of Halloween, we have Jason versus Victor Crowley from Jason Savini Voorhees, or Savini Jason Voorhees. Which one was it? The name was, I know it's a combination of those. Savini Jason Voorhees. I believe that can confirm. I believe Tom Savini, who is a special effects guy. He's famous in the horror movie industry. Or is it John Savini? Tom or John Savini? One of the two. Anyway. Victor Crowley versus Jason Voorhees. Two hatchet, machete, hand weapon wielding, hulking brutes who are supernaturally imbued. Jason, we've done Jason God knows how many times. End of the main series, Jason is basically a demon possessing a body at that point. He can possess other people, but can be killed by someone who has the blood of a Voorhees. Immense strength, durability, and Uber Jason, as we get from Jason X, is pretty much a cyborg who is super effed up in terms of power. It survived a re-entry to a planet's atmosphere and tossed a tree trunk, skewering someone, as we see in the later comics. Human Jason, durable. He's also the fastest version of Jason. Woodsman has, knowledge of the wooded areas. Is still, most versions of Jason aren't stupid. They're simple. So they can strategize a little bit, figure out where someone's going to be, all that stuff. But they're pretty much just simple in the sense that, okay, this is where they are, and straight here, going to kill you. We have Comic Jason, and then there's also the Freddy versus Jason, who's pretty much essentially the main series Jason from the original series of films, just different. He's just like as a zombie at that point. Still could tank a lot of damage and dish out quite a bit of damage. And then, and sorry, that's not me gasping for us. That's just me, I've got a little bit of post-nasal drip coming on, so it's kind of, I guess it is me gasping for breath in some minor way. I'm fine, don't worry. But still, it's, where was I? Oh, Comic Jason, pretty much, main series Jason, but played up with a healing factor, very much like Wolverine's. He's also very capable of bringing down even a helicopter just with a bow and arrow. Granted, it's because he hit the pilot, but still. Victor Crowley is from the Hatchet franchise, which I think they made how many of these now? Three, yeah. Victor Crowley, let's see here, was conceived in an unknown time period by his mother and his father, where the truth goes that Victor's mother, Lena, was once the nurse of Tonson, very ill, so both of them developed a sexual relation. Once they thought Shannon had passed away, it was with her very eyes to see both of them kissing each other. Desperate plea for forgiven, blah, 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 blah. Years later, Victor Crowley is now an adult who kept hidden in the woods, was left by his loving father. But one fatal Halloween night, it was a group of boys who decided to scare Victor out of his home by throwing firecrackers at his house. But one of the firecrackers set aflame the door, and flames engulfed the house, trapping him inside. Victor's father tried hacking down the door with a hatchet, but because Victor was pressed against the other side of the door, Thomas had accidentally hit his own son in the head with the hatchet, instantly killing him. After this, Thomas went a while armed with shotgun to each of the kids. This sentence makes no sense. I know what he means. He went around to each of the kids who were responsible with shotgun, but no one cared, which left Victor's father in a depressing lifestyle. He didn't eat, sleep until as usual people, but once it was his time, he had died of a broken heart. Only 10 years later, now Victor Crowley was resurrected, and now roams the Isle Swamp as a vengeful spirit and kills any traveler, fishers, and enthusiast natives who come to the Honey Swamp Island. The three young boys that banged on the car window, which with Victor inside, flashback in the first film, are the same three teens who caused Victor's own demise, making him live in homicidal limbo. Interesting. Anywho, so Victor is basically a vengeful spirit. So he has supernatural strength to the point where he can rip off an entire limbs with ease and is capable of lifting human beings as if they were mere toys. His grip strength is especially brutal. Once he lays hands on his victims, he's capable of ripping off the skin skin off of Reverend Zombie, who was some guy, and then tossing his upper torso. Tossing his upper torso that had previously sliced in considerable feet away. Anyway, the way this is worded is terrible. Immortality, basically, he being a revenant eventual spirit type, he's practically immortal, where he has been shown being killed by Mary Beth Dunstan and yet resurrected back his home. This allows him to keep going without the need for food, water, or such human-based essentials. Despite his immortality, he's still vulnerable to human-based weapons, be it with melee weapons or firearms capable of suffering wounds that would still kill a regular human, but yet still being capable of attacking his prey even when suffering through damage done to the physical body. He has supernatural durability and regeneration. His entire body, he has the entire body durability supernaturally enhanced due to him being an undead force of vengeance, as he can be shot, stabbed, cut in half, all without taking any real damage to the fact that he's being resurrected right back at his house, fully healed as if nothing happened, erasing all previous damage. He has infinite stamina, awareness when living on the small island swamp for considerable years. He has gained unknown large spatial awareness, where he can sense potential victims' whereabouts as long as they are on the island. He also has good senses. He has heightened sense of hearing, as shown when he is here to drop a sweat, hit the ground, immediately turns around and throws his hatchet at the sweat, where the sweat hit. In terms of how he was ultimately brought down, I don't know. I mean, he was never truly brought. I think it had to do with like his dad's ashes or something like that. I can't remember exactly how that happened, but Victor Crowley is extremely difficult to put down. Now, granted, if you were to say have me put him up against like an exorcist like John Constantine, who could actually exorcise the spirit out of him, I'd give that to Constantine, even though Constantine would still struggle against the physicality of him. Or anyone who's actually magically based, this whole spiritual like durability stuff doesn't matter. But that's not the case here. So this is a scenario of, is this a stalemate match? Because Jason, I'd argue, is probably physically stronger in most incarnations than Victor is. But in terms of regenerative capability and durability, Victor's got the edge there because he literally can't die except by like one very specific means. I can't remember what that means exactly was. But it's not a means Jason actually has. So the question is, who wins? Let's go over each version. There is Jason X version of Jason, where basically this is just a stalemate of who's going to keep going until the other gets tired or bored. Not even tired, bored. It's like they're going to eventually realize that they can't kill each other. So it's just hack slash punch, hack slash punch. Now, the catch in this scenario, though, is that while Victor is basically immortal, he is essentially immortal. He is not immortal. He can still be. He's still vulnerable to human-based weapons, but he just resurrects back at his home. So because of that, even though he technically isn't defeated, killed, he is defeated in that moment. And he just resurrects back at his home. So if he's not in the area, that means Jason technically wins that fight. The question is that the case with all these versions of Jason? Well, against Uber Jason, that's 100% the case. Because Victor, for all his strength, cannot take Uber Jason down. There's just no way. Against the original series Jason, though, because we saw what happened with original series Jason. He eventually got, the body of person got his throat cut, and the demon came out and he just repossessed the Voorhees and came back as Jason. And even if he were to be killed, it wouldn't matter so much, very much. I will say, though, the fact that because he's a spirit, Victor Crowley, not like a body, Jason's not going to be able to possess him. So, and I doubt he'd had really any interest of eating Jason's heart to be possessed by him or anything like that. So I don't think main series Jason would beat him. But he also really only wields a hatchet, whereas Jason tends to wield a machete. Well, wield just about anything. Usually a machete, which in terms of a cutting weapon, in terms of combat, is actually a bit more favorable because while a hatchet could dig in deeper, it can also get lodged depending on the body. And Jason has a thick body. So thick with 2C's body. So he might get the hatchet in, but it might get stuck, and Jason just grabs him and just boom hacks him down. Then he just reforms into his home, but he was killed. Technically, he was beaten. So because of that, I will say Jason probably takes the fight when it comes to Jason X Jason, Uber Jason, main series Jason, probably Freddy versus Jason, and comic Jason. But I do think Victor takes down human Jason. I don't, because as far as we can tell, there really isn't anything supernatural about human Jason, as far as we can tell, apart from that stinger to the end of the movie, but we don't really have any evidence that that was very likely an homage to the original movie, or original 2 movies. So comic Jason, though, his regeneration is too on point that Victor wouldn't be able to put him down either. So because of that, I will go with Jason in this. Again, only because of that weird stipulation that while Victor can't really die, he'll reform when he takes like a lethal amount of damage at his home. So that means he leaves the battle, assuming this fight doesn't take place in his home. If this fight takes place in his home, then it's just a battle of attrition that Victor will win more times than not, because eventually you can put Jason down, at least some version of Jason down. You can put the zombie Jason down with, like, you can dismember him, all that. You can put main series Jason down. Uber Jason and comic Jason are 2 versions of Jason that Victor couldn't beat even in his home. So it's just a battle of attrition where they just keep smacking Victor around until he just gets bored and walks away. And then Victor's just like, oh, come back here! And then just boom, beats him again. And then he keeps reforming, he gets farther away until he's far enough away. So if the fight takes place in his home, then I do believe Victor actually takes the majority win. But if it's not in his home because of the reforming out his home thing and separating himself from the fight, I am going with Jason 4 times out of 5, whereas with Victor Crowley, I'll take him in his home 3 times out of 5. But that is just my opinion. Let me know in the comments below if you think different, and if you do, that is cool. We can have a fun discussion about it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point, hopefully. I can't always promise that. Like, I got requested to do Ron's Gone Wrong, and I didn't get to it. I don't know, maybe, not promising anything, maybe I'll try to do that tomorrow. Tonight's Antlers. I'm seeing Antlers because I've been wanting to see Antlers. Sorry, if you have an idea for who wins Star Wars Superior Magic, What If, Lantern Corps, Zanpakuto video, put that in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I got Zanpakuto to do a little bit later, and then Antlers, and I'm good for the evening. So thanks for watching, and see you later.